Welcome to Virtual Turf Talk. I'm Darien, one of your co-hosts,
I'm your other co-host, Oliver Live.
and we're here to talk to you about competitive gaming, Madden 2K. This episode, we're going to strictly go into Madden. Let's get right into it. Launch of Madden, your thoughts?
I feel like the launch of Madden was pretty good. It's just, when you actually got into the game, because I feel like you could remember when the game actually launched, it took maybe 3 hours to get into the game. But besides that, I felt pretty good about it. I got all my pre-order content on time from Mutt.
Okay.
Once I was in there, I felt like the servers were pretty good, but
Yeah,
uh felt like a few people were complaining that rookie premieres didn't get released on time, which was a perfectly valid complaint, but
of course.
I didn't do them this year, so it wasn't a personal thing for me. So maybe I'm higher on it than other people, but
Yep.
I don't know. How do you feel?
I think, for me, it was really good. I didn't personally pre-order, so I didn't do MUT, but I did do Rex. I think, it was really good. It was a really good launch. Once you got into the service, of course, it took like 2, 3. Honestly, it took the whole night. Let me not even sugarcoat it. It took the whole night basically to get into the servers. But once you got in, the gameplay felt smooth. The servers weren't bad. Like they weren't bad once you got in. It was just getting into the game. That was the problem
Yeah.
for sure.
See, for like a
Yeah,
1 p.m. release, I think we got into the game at like 8 p.m.,
yeah,
like eight
yeah,
hours after they said it was. So that was bad.
yeah. That was bad. I mean, definitely had better. They tried the whole, letting everybody in at one time. Didn't really work out the way they wanted to. But
Yeah.
it's trial and error. They can definitely get better. They can definitely improve. Um, Personally for me, my thoughts on Madden, the gameplay wise, defense was significantly better for me.
Mm,
Zones play a lot better. DB seemed to acro really well, even without the ability acrobat. Knockouts definitely have been tuned up for zones
right.
and man abilities. Like it felt really good for me on the defensive side of the football. Offense felt a little slower. It felt like it kind of got nerfed a little bit. Like, QBs weren't missing a lot of throws. They were missing a lot of throws. Route running for me didn't seem as crisp as it did in Man 23. There was a lot of feet not getting inbound now. That can be an accuracy issue,
Yeah,
or
I
it
get
could
that.
simply just be like, just the mechanics of the game. Blocking felt better, still needs a little
Mm,
bit of improvement. There's still some blitzes that come in free. But they definitely do a better job of blocking, especially the edge rushers. So like DB fire and
right.
those type of blitzes aren't as OP, but there are still blitzes that are good. So they definitely do have a little bit of ways to go.
I do think that with Madden increasing the AI of blocking, I think the one thing that we need and the one thing left, I think that would be good was DB fire specifically and everything at $1, because I know like in real life there's blitzes and I know that it's realistic, but you'll never see in the NFL one person just coming in free. That'll never be like if you're in the NFL and you're good. Like if I have David Bakhtiari on my left and I have Penei Sewell on my right, I
Mm-hmm.
know one of them is going to be picking up a blitzing DB. They're not going to just come in free, right? And
Yeah,
even if
yeah,
they are, like I've seen strong safeties like Eric Berry and Mutt, like he'll come around the corner, but he'll just swim right past, one of the
yeah.
best offensive linemen.
Right past them.
Even when in real life he's getting put on his on his back, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But oh shit. All right. I don't know. Where do you want to go next? Sorry.
Um, yeah. I mean, kind of just going really off of that. It felt to me like running the ball on DB fire still seems like a challenge when in reality it shouldn't be. Now I don't know if that's the like lack of like weak boxing, but like for me, like running the ball, especially inside zone, it seems to me like, and even sometimes stretches, so like DB still come in free a little bit. It's not as
I
bad.
run dollar versus stretch defense, and
Yeah,
that's my stretch defense is dollar,
yeah.
which is
It
like
blows it
that
up, and
doesn't make any sense
the blitzing
because
corner
nobody
comes
picks
free.
up the DB on the side, so he just loops in and stops, right? So you got him
Yeah,
coming in, the guy's right
yeah.
here, he just immediately picks it up, which I don't think is realistic at all.
I don't think that's realistic either. I think that definitely needs to be improved with blocking,
Right.
as they said they improved. Of course, the game will get better. I think they'll make more updates. I think people will complain more, and they'll fix it in the upcoming months. So yeah, we can get into me personally. I'm a Regs player.
Right.
You're more of a MUT player, I guess you could say, more of a
Thousand
franchise
percent.
player. How do you feel about the state of Regs right now at the beginning of the year?
I feel like the content that we've been getting has been actually very lackluster in comparison to all the other years that we've had Mutt. If you go back and you look even to last year, specifically headliners like this isn't our first take. I think that's obvious, but if you
Mm,
go back and you look at headliners before because of the first recording, it wasn't there. And I was like, it wasn't that bad, but we could have gotten more, could have gotten better.
Hmm.
But you go back and
Hmm.
you look, we got Tremaine and Edmonds as our limited, but he's worse than players on day one. Like you got
Hmm.
Junior Seau on week one.
Yep.
Oh, not even
Yep.
day one release. You go back and you look, we got Kenny Pickett on day one. Aaron Rodgers that we just got, who was
Hmm.
supposed to be the headliners, he has less throw power, worse accuracies than a player that we got on day one, which I don't think. I feel like in MUT, it's usually supposed to be linear, but then
Hmm.
I feel like we're getting headliners, we get legends, and we get these ones, and then it's just the quality dips. There's no
Yeah.
constant growth.
Not consistent growth. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. You're a mud player. I'll kind of go in a little bit of regs since I'm a regs player. Regs for me, to be honest, the same as it's been for the last couple of years. No real
Mm.
incentive to play. I mean, unless you're talking about the top 100 list that you really don't like get any really recognition from, unless you're talking to other regs players. But like for me, I think regs just needs to become more incentive based. They need to do more for
Yeah.
people to want to actually play the game. For me, it kind of like drives people towards franchise and towards mud because well, more so towards mud since the fact that mud's you pay for your cards and you pay for
Right.
packs and all that stuff. They didn't do more for the games that aren't pay to play.
Do you
They
have a
didn't do more for
solution?
those. Yeah. I think for regs you could definitely do like tournaments. Like
Right.
must have their own tournaments. They used to have the Madden. They used to have I don't know if it's called the Madden Classic. They used to have like a regs tournament where the pro players would play with the regs teams. I think it was Madden 20 where they
Mm.
played Madden 21 where they played some Madden Classic games and it was regs. I know like I think it was some two guys were using like one was using Seahawks, one was using the Cowboys, and it looked really well. Like it showed definitely who were the better guys without all
Mm.
those abilities that MUT gives you. So yeah, but for you, like as a MUT player, right? We know how the gameplay is. A lot of abilities on defense, a lot of abilities on offense. How do you feel right
Mm.
now that where MUT is gameplay wise?
I feel like gameplay wise, this is usually the peak, or we're just getting to the peak. I usually
Mm-hmm.
think that most feared is when we get to that kind of, the peak of MUT content because we get players that are higher enough overall to where they start getting half decent abilities. But I also feel like we're at the point where we don't have edge threat elite on 3 players, 2 players, but whatever. But when it comes to gameplay, the as you said in the beginning, the accuracy was an issue, drops were an issue, but
Mm-hmm.
people usually think at the beginning of the year that's always the problem. It's not maybe accuracies, it might be feet getting inbounds, might be catching, might be
Yeah.
DBs not playing well enough. But usually when you get
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of the year, that's when
Yep.
the attributes start catching up with where you would want it to be.
Yep.
So gift wrapped was one of the things that people go to look for at the beginning of the year,
Mm-hmm.
mostly because
Yep.
of just how low the attribute caps are, especially
Yep.
with, highballing and agging getting nerfed. If you ag the ball, you're usually going to drop it. If you highball the ball,
Yep.
you're probably going to drop it. But
Mm-hmm.
gift wrap kind of rectifies those things. But once we get into the most feared, I feel like we're going to get back to kind of agging and, dunking on people and whatnot. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. For me with regs, I think gameplay the like the thing that MUT does so well that I think regs needs to do better is giving, like everybody has abilities, everybody has basically the same team. Everybody can compete.
mm,
With regs, you have the better teams such as the Chiefs, the Jets, the Bills, the Chargers, those type of teams. But then you got Texans and Bears, and those teams can't really compete. So like everybody's just using the top teams, and specifically everybody's really
right.
using the Jets right now because of Rodgers. He still gets slinger, he still gets PLE, he still gets all the basic ability that you really need for a quarterback. Like it's just really top heavy. But gameplay wise, I don't think it's bad. Like I think like man is good, but man isn't unbeatable, like type of thing.
Right.
Like you can beat man pretty consistently, even with like team like the Patriots that don't have a lot of speed. You could beat man coverage for sure in the
Yeah.
gameplay. I
Despite what
think,
TD says, yeah, I think
yeah.
you can beat man coverage with the
I
Patriots.
mean,
Yeah.
I've shown you in the other league, the Raiders league, where like I'm what 7-8-0 at this
7 and
point.
0, 7 and
Yeah,
0.
like everybody's running,
Might work.
everybody's running man on me.
Might work.
Like and I'm beating it pretty easily. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think Rex is in a pretty good place.
Hold on.
I definitely think
How's Mac Jones doing? Let's just sidetrack that a little bit. How's Mac Jones doing? What's the TD to interception ratio looking like?
I'm pretty sure it's like 20 to like 9 or something like that. But I also have like
Mm,
a bunch of rushing touchdowns as well. So like it kind of adds
okay.
on. He's
Yeah.
definitely leading for the MVP. I'm kind of racing for the MVP at this point. But
All
yeah,
right.
like
Bring it
but
home,
yeah,
bro.
back to Rex though. Back to Rex though. It's definitely
Mm.
like it's good though. It's in a better place than it's been in a couple of years. I think they definitely could add stuff to give people more incentive to play. But Rex gameplay wise is pretty good. I have no real complaints about it.
As
But
a
yeah,
regs player, how do you feel about the addition to speed to skill trees?
I think that's more franchise. But if I had to get into it, definitely could be better.
Mm.
Um, I don't like it personally. I think, kind of takes away the point of building your team. I think once you get deep threats and stuff like that, it'll gradually progress your speed. I don't think there was really a point to add it. I didn't see the point in adding it. I don't know if you feel differently, but I
No.
personally like
Uh-uh.
I don't have any real feelings on it. I personally could go without it. I mean, is it bad? Not really, no. But is it like something that we needed and even asked for? No, it wasn't. We can go without it for sure.
All right. I get that. So,
I think it definitely helps the short. Okay, I think it definitely helps the slower teams though, right? The Patriots of
right.
the world, with the slower receivers. I think it definitely helps them though. That was
Do you
my whole
think
thought.
maybe as a solution? Okay, I did want to go back to what you were talking about with regs. With
Mhm.
your kind of complaint where it's like the teams are kind of top heavy. Where do you
Mhm.
think the changes should be started? Do you think they should start nerfing the good teams or making the bad teams better?
I don't think that's something that you can really change simply because of the fact of like how the game plays. With
Mm,
abilities, it definitely. I think the way you have to counter is by taking away abilities, and clearly Madden isn't going to do that. So I think like there's no real way you can really combat it. I think it's just one of the things you have to live with regs that the better teams are going to simply get used, and the lower teams won't. I think that's just something you have to live with for
yeah.
sure. But yeah, with
Okay.
you with franchise though, right? You did get into the speed upgrades. I want to get into franchise as well. They made a lot of updates this year. Giving owners more customization tools for their leagues. Giving like I think for specifics, you can definitely like move your teams easier. Those type of things. Like they definitely added a bunch of things, especially with draft classes and being able to customize your draft class. How do you feel about that as a franchise player?
Again, I will never be the person that, again, jerk off a franchise or a company, but I feel like the addition of adding quality to draft classes was a very good decision. Like, in real life, you
Very good
have more
decision.
depth. Yeah, you have depth to draft classes. You might have more
Hmm.
QBs one year in comparison to you might have a bunch of good running backs one year. And I feel
Yeah.
like that reflects very well on the NFL.
Yeah.
Going back to the sorry, it was the relocation, right?
Mhm.
I feel like even though they keep adding more things, I feel like they need to finally let loose and finally just allow us to fully customize our teams. I know that
Yeah.
you'll get the goofy kind of like, Lana Rhodes with her boobs out, kind of fucking like
Yeah.
they have in
Yeah. Yeah. Of
2K.
course, somebody's gonna
But
do
I
it. Somebody's gonna do
someone's gonna do it and I'll be the first one. But it's
it.
if you go and you allow these
Yeah.
things to happen, I feel like you open the gates to more customization and more like expressibility. Like how if you
Yeah.
go back and you look at NCAA 14, you can import your own team if you wanted to. You could go into
Mhm.
an app or a website and you could make your own team. And there are YouTube series that have been going on for years of them just with college programs every 4 years, guys graduate, blah blah blah. But these franchises go on forever just
Yeah.
because of the possibilities, right? Like you can
Yeah.
make your own team, your own
Mhm.
storyline, etc. And I feel like not having that in the game is just a dumb mistake.
I think it definitely is a lacking thing. I wish they would have added it by now. I thought added more, when they added more cities, I thought they were just gonna let loose and just simply just let it be, kind of like how 2K is. With the Ultimate Teams, you get to basically, do whatever you want with them. Essentially, create whatever the hell you want. They definitely did kind of they're still kind of hindering it. Personally, as well with the draft class, which you were talking about, I think it definitely is a great addition. I wish it would have been added sooner, but we take what we can get. It definitely adds depth. There's some classes you might have a whole bunch of good quarterbacks. You might have one great, but a bunch of good quarterbacks. There might
Mm.
be one where you have a bunch of good DBs. Defense might be a prevalence in one class. So I think it definitely helps. It helps franchises a lot because franchise last year definitely lacked a lot. And, of course, you had the whole epidemic that happened in December where you basically couldn't get into your franchises. That
Yeah.
whole thing.
Hey,
They
I got
definitely gave
half off Madden
franchises.
for that. I'm not mad.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
I did.
mad
I,
at it.
I got top five man too. I was pretty happy
I'm not
about it.
mad
But
at it.
I think there's definitely things they can still do to fix, franchise. Definitely
Mm,
things they can do to draw more people in. But again, once the MCS and all that stuff starts happening, people are going to go to competitive franchise. So I definitely think franchises continue to get better. I think they definitely should
exactly. Yeah.
continue to do more. Yeah, it should continue to do more. All right, so now we're gonna go into the Ultimate Kickoff tournament. Recently just
Right.
happened. We all know who won. What were your thoughts about it as far as like the atmosphere, being back in person since, you know,
Yeah. The
since the
atmosphere, I
Madden
feel
Bowl.
like I know before, I said the same thing, right? It's where just because it's in person doesn't mean it's any different whatsoever. I feel like you're still in the same atmosphere. The only difference is
Okay.
that you have people sitting next to each other because I don't watch the MCS for the crowd. I don't watch
Yeah.
MCS for the commentary. I
Yeah.
just watch it for the gameplay. It's still
Yeah.
gameplay at the end of the day. And how did you feel about the commentating? That was one.
The commentating needs to be better for sure. I think the commentating, it just, it's just too many instances where like you can obviously see that they're biased towards a certain player. We all know who we're talking about,
Yeah.
Henry. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest, call a spade a spade. But some especially guys like User, like he's so I don't want to say meat riding, but like he's meat riding Henry to a T, and it's ridiculous. Like then they added Ryan Hollins. That was weird. I didn't really expect that. I don't know really how I
Yeah,
feel
no, have a
about it.
7 foot
No one asked
NBA
about it.
player
Yeah, have a seven
fucking
foot
commenting
former
Madden
NBA
games.
player, Thomas. Yeah, like people were already critiquing the quality of the commentating of the MCS tournaments. I think that definitely didn't
Right.
help it. You have to you want to get guys in that actually know what they're talking about. Guys that are going to be unbiased, impartial. That are going to call the game how it
Exactly.
is, honestly. But you can't have guys like one great user taking over, just me riding Henry to the wheels fall off.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's the main complaint. I feel like even if you go and you ask, yeah, okay, let's say you take a survey of how everybody felt
Mm,
about the MCS tournament. First
mm,
complaint would be either user or the
yeah,
general meat writing that was going on in
yeah,
general. And there's nothing wrong with meat writing. You like who you like,
facts.
right? But at
Yeah,
the end of
no,
the
yeah,
day, I don't want to watch that.
yeah.
The
I don't
viewers
think
don't want to
anybody
watch
wants to
it,
watch
so
it.
take it
I
out.
don't think anybody wants to watch it. Yeah. Yeah, you talked about you're not there for the crowd, right? How do you think they could fix that? Because like we saw when Harry won the belt, like it was kind of like it was a dead
Yeah.
celebration. Like it wasn't what it should be. How do you think that they can fix that to bring more hype towards like winning a belt? Because that's a big accomplishment for these bad competitors. Like you want more oomph to it, you know?
Mm. You see these Overwatch kids, right? And you see these World of Warcraft kids, and they rent out these big fucking stadiums, and
Yeah.
they go out and sell tickets, right? Because they have a big Asian audience, so kids show out, and that's fine. That's good
Yeah.
for them. But I'm saying if they have maybe if you go rent out a high school gym, college like
Yeah.
even the other day I went to school, right? And there was a football game going on, so I sat in the crowd. The stands were full, right? If you
Yeah.
go out and you say like, hey, there's a live event going on in Colorado, we'll invite the families out, and you guys could also show up if you wanted to, and just
Mm,
make them pay like $10. And I feel like that kind of brings the crowd aspects
yeah.
to livens it up a little bit.
Yeah, because they want to compare so much to MCS so much to like, championships for real sports. You want to call it esports. Bring that crowd. Bring that
Yeah.
aspect to the live events for sure. So we both know who won. Henry,
Mm.
first belt with a live event in person. The GOAT debate, right? For me, it's Henry's Skimbo problem. I don't know who you have in your goats, your top three goats. Do you think this belt being his first in person, being the last, I guess you could say last ring that he needed, do you think this solidifies Henry as the GOAT of the MCS?
Yeah, I think it does. I don't even I thought he was the GOAT before this. I feel like
Mm,
even if you go back and you look, let's just stop talking about MCS for a second and let's go say,
mm,
everybody knew LeBron James was going to be really good and he was going to get in that GOAT conversation since he was 18.
mm.
I'm not going
Yep.
to compare Henry to LeBron, but kids knew it
Mm,
was coming, right? Like
yeah.
you go back and you look at when he won that first belt, and you continue the dominance through the second one, and Madden's not like
Mm,
real life, kind of
mm,
where you can fall off, but it's the same gameplay at the end of the day, right? The good
yeah.
people are going
At
to
the end
stay
of the
good, right? So
day. Mm, yeah. Okay. So then, like, it kind of goes into the topic of how much higher do you consider person belts than Kobe belts? I know you've said that it's kind of the same, but like, winning a belt in person, winning a belt over the mic is two totally different things. When you kind of
Yeah.
get to talk to somebody in their ear instead of being on the mic, you can cut off the mic. You can't cut somebody away from being right next to you talking shit to you,
Mm,
How do you feel about that personally?
exactly. If you go back and you look at the clips of that guy calling Henry, what was it, little boy or something like that?
Hmm. Yeah.
The shit talk to Dubby, the shit talk. Like me personally, you're not saying that over a microphone, right? You're only gonna be saying that in
Yeah.
purpose because I mean in
Yeah.
person because you're sitting next to each other. It's an EA event. No one's gonna
Hmm.
do anything. Me
Yeah.
personally, I'm swinging, but
Yeah.
that's just
Oh
me.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm knocking heads off.
That's
Oh
just
man.
that's just
The
me.
way Henry was talking to those guys, I'm knocking his head off personally, and I'm
Mm,
taking his stuff. But that's just me personally.
that's just me personally.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you go and you look at these trash talk, this is shit that's only happening in person. I don't know. Over the mic, in person, I always will feel like it's kind of the same thing. But it's always it's good if you go and you look at the players like Henry. I'm sure Henry feels better about winning a belt in person
Of course.
because he
Yeah.
can go out and hold the belt, right? Like
Yeah.
he can go sit next to his little fans and he could go get his
Yeah.
belt and go stand up and have a conversation about it.
Yeah, of course he's never gonna say it, but being around your peers in the face and being able to hold the belt, saying I'm the best out of all of you, it definitely is rewarding more than just
Of
being
course, yeah.
being handed to you. Yeah, of course.
Mm,
But yeah, so next MCS tournament, from what I've heard is happening this weekend.
yeah.
How do you feel about it? Who do you have winning it? If you have anybody winning it, what do you think? What do you think comes out of this next MCS tournament?
I think Henry's gonna go back to back again.
Okay.
Either that or Dez is gonna be there. Like EA the other day, I saw they released their power rankings. They had W at a ninth, I think,
Ooh,
in the world.
yeah,
So he's
yeah,
up 42 spots now. So good for
yeah,
him. But
yeah.
like EA is usually right with these things, like power rankings. Again, like I said a few minutes ago, it's a video game, right? So gameplay
Mm.
doesn't really change. Some kids might fall off, shout out Rail, but some kids gonna fall off.
Wow,
Some kids
wow.
gonna stay here, and the ones that are actually good at the game are gonna stay where they are.
Yeah.
So, Henry's gonna go back there. Dez is
Okay.
gonna stay up there. K Mac's
Yeah.
gonna stay there, et cetera, et cetera, et
Mm-mm.
cetera. Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we definitely didn't talk about W's, run in the MCS. This past MCS enough, but like his run was insane. Brought
Yeah.
I think it brought a lot of eyes to the MCS tournament. I think it brought a lot of hype to the MCS tournament. I think personally that he got a bad matchup with Henry. Henry's a buzzsaw. You really don't want to get him, especially like in your first couple matchups.
Mm.
You kind of want to wait till the final to play him. But I mean, if you want to be the best, you have to be the best. So, but I think W's run, like, we've all seen the clip. We've all seen the clip.
Mm.
It was emotional for him. It definitely bring joy to my heart. Watching him win it, he deserves it, man. He deserves it for sure.
Of course, W's my favorite content creator when it comes to people that actually know how to play Madden. Shout out
Mhm.
MMG, doesn't know how to play
Yeah.
Madden, but
Yeah. Funny,
you
funny
go
though.
no, hella funny. But W when it comes to people that are entertaining and also really
Mm.
good at the game, he's definitely up there, like the ninth
Yeah.
best Madden player in the world. Actually, K Max there as well. Never mind, forget I said that. But like
Okay, that's
content
fine.
creators who are also really good at the game, they
Mhm.
will always pique my interest because like a Henry's up there. Henry's number one, right? But he hasn't got a
Mm.
YouTube. He doesn't have that big YouTube presence like these other guys do, right?
He actually just started a channel. He
Did
actually just
he?
started
Oh,
a
I didn't
channel.
see
Yeah,
this.
yeah. He actually just started a channel. I think one of the guys in the TD chat. But yeah, like he just started a channel, which is interesting because it seems like everybody now in the MCS is starting YouTube channels and getting into that aspect as well of content
Mm.
creating as well as
That's
being
that
pro Madden
That's
players.
that shit you start doing when you got nothing left to prove. You start starting up YouTube channels and shit.
That's yeah, yeah. I
Got
mean, he's
nothing
already
else to
won.
do, bro.
He's already won everything. He's already won everything. Yeah,
Start
I
a YouTube
didn't
channel,
really get
bro.
into my prediction. I do kind of agree. I think Henry and Des are going to be those top two guys. I think
Mm,
Drini's going to be in there. We all know he should have beat Des. Let's be honest about it. He should have beat
yeah.
Des. It's definitely sold the game. I think Drini comes back with a vengeance. He's going to be there when it was all said and done. I honestly think he sees Henry in the finals if they both do compete. We don't really know who's going to compete, but I think they all will compete. I think if they do, Henry sees Drini in the finals. I think it's gonna be a good game. I do have Henry winning again because Henry's just head and shoulders over everybody right now. But I think Drini definitely gets there. I think he beats Des. Seems like Des is taking a step back a little bit. I really want to claim that on him,
I
you
don't
know.
even want to say that because
But
sorry, if you
like,
go back and you actually look at these games, like
mm,
last year, you get an extra. Okay, last year the quarters are a minute, 2 minutes. Was it 1 minute, 2 minute less?
yeah,
And
similar.
also they upped it to all Madden this year, which is different.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
definitely
all pro
different.
before. It
Yeah,
was
it
all
was.
pro. So
Hmm.
that's the difference. It might be. I don't know. That's what K-Mac's telling himself, but
I
that's the
think,
difference.
I think the reason why I say he's taking a step back is simply because like we all saw him against Drini. He didn't look good against Drini. He just kind of
No.
Drini more so saw that game than Dez wanted. And then you go and you lay an egg in the in the championship game against Henry. Henry looked head and shoulders above him. Wasn't
Yeah,
close
I
from the start.
don't really think it's close, like at all.
Yeah,
When it comes to first and second place, you look at LeBron James, you could say, oh, I mean, like, LeBron's not the best player in the league. I feel like that's not even a hot take these days, but he's
yeah, it's
not the
not.
best player in the league.
Yeah, but
But,
you can
you
definitely
look
say
at
from like
Henry, Henry's the
2010,
best player. You can't say shit.
2010 to about 2015, you could definitely say LeBron was the best player and it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
close.
Oh, yeah.
You could maybe put
1000%.
KD there. Not really. LeBron's basically head and shoulders like Henry is right now.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah.
like Dez to me looked like he looked sloppy. Like some of the reads he made, you could definitely tell they were like Madden 23 reads where you make him a high
Mhm.
balls and you get away with some of those reads.
You're not
24,
making those these game.
he
You're
looked
not making
ooh,
those.
he looked iffy. Yeah, but finally I kind of wanted to get into like the new update going around. We all know about it with the new
Yeah.
abilities. I can kind of get into a little bit and read some of them off. You got third down threat, which basically gives you better third down catching and route running. Lynch pin. I don't think I'm saying
Mm.
that right. Lynch pin. Better blocking from all offensive linemen. Could be passing and running. We don't really know yet. I'm
That's
hoping
true
it's for
though.
passing and running. That would be really good if it
Mm.
is. Interior threat. It's basically essentially edge threat, but for interior linemen. Now that also makes me think: are they going to add interior threat elite, like how edge rushers do? That would
Yeah.
maybe be
That would
for
be
right
crazy.
ends, left and down. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be insane. Lurk artist basically is pick artist and lurker and one ability definitely makes linebackers more usable. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure
I
the
like
only
that.
player that might get that is probably going to be Fred Warner in regs, but like it definitely makes linebackers more usable in regs, in franchises, and damn near much. Backyard QB, basically QB, running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers all get it. It's more hot routes and faster playmakers in one. You have omniscient, basically identifier and blitz radar and one ability. That's really great
Yeah.
for linemen.
Yeah.
You got
That's
to
the
put
one you
blitz
like.
pin, omniscient. That's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Short, deep, mid elite, essentially it combines short in, mid in and out, deep in and out. It combines them all into really one ability instead of just having to put
Mm.
both on. Master
See, doesn't
tactician,
that
I love
include
master.
like short and elite as well though?
Yeah, I think it'd be.
That's
I
that
think
shit
it's gonna
that
be
everyone likes.
short in and short out elite. It's gonna be mid elite combined, and it's gonna be
I
deep
think
in and
that'll
it's gonna be
be
out elite.
that might be going under the radar a little bit more than it should be. I think
It's gonna be
that's
really
like
good.
really good. But
It's gonna
like,
be really
okay,
good.
you add these to MUT, right? What does the
Yeah.
AP look on these? Because right now we have 6 ability points offense. And if it's a combination of 3 abilities, what are we thinking? Four AP? Three
Mm.
AP
I don't think
maybe?
you can. I don't think we want to do that. Low key, this might be a little bit hot take, but we might see AP go back up a little bit. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna go to
Hmm.
12, but it might go up a little bit considering like all these new
I wouldn't mind it
abilities.
going up to eight,
Yeah, maybe
seven,
eight,
even.
maybe eight, maybe nine, somewhere in their range. Yeah, I can definitely see
Hmm.
that. Let me finish Master Tactician, Hard Master plus Conductor plus Playmaker. It's gonna be really good on quarterbacks. It's gonna make quarterbacks basically. I don't want to say unstoppable, but it's gonna make them damn near close. It's gonna make them damn near close.
Yeah.
You got deep zone KO, deep out, and deeping knockout combined, and you also, and for the last, you have Enforcer Supreme, Tackle Supreme, and Enforcer combined.
Yeah,
Um,
that's that one I like. That one's
how
really
do
good.
you? Okay, so you can kind of say your one that you like the most, the one you like the least. How do you feel about the one? How do you
See,
feel
the
about that?
combination of this is a very underrated one. The one you just listed at the end, which was this tackle supreme,
Yeah.
and the what was the it was a combination tackle supreme, and what was the other one? Was it unfakeable
Um,
or
wait,
what
you
was
saw
it?
the last couple ones?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was Tackle Supreme and Enforcer combined.
Yeah, see, that's really good because
That's really
not
great.
only not only because the ability that you can juke around all these games, and Jerry Rice is juking you out of your shoes. You put that on like
Everybody
a
is.
yeah, exactly. That's crazy, right? You put that
Mm.
on a linebacker, you put that on a corner, especially on a corner, and they're throwing those RPOs. They go and they try to juke you out, and they're just staying there. They have no clue. And not only that, they
Yeah.
could maybe lower the shoulder a little bit, going for a strip.
Yep.
You know,
Oh, so you like that one the most? Which one did you like the least out of all of them? Which one could be more maybe problemsome?
Yeah, I think the backyard QB, I think will be a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I think especially with the ability to playmaker will be kind of
yeah,
crazy,
yep.
especially with like QB playmaker. It's always been an ability that's been in the game, but ever since around Madden 20, when they had the delay fades, was it? I think 21. 21 was delay fades, right?
I think 21 was a delay phase. I think it was 22
21
as
was
well.
delay fades, yeah.
I think 20,
But
22 was pretty good as well.
see, you roll out of the pocket, you can just immediately hot route your tight. I mean, play make your tight end to the left, up the
Mm,
field, left, right.
yep.
Not only
Mm,
that, he could be on a post to begin with, right? And he could go like post right up off the field, crazy shit.
yeah,
I'm
pretty
excited
crazy.
for it, but maybe only for
Yeah.
a few games. I might lose my shit.
So you went to backyard QB is the one that you like the least. That could also be a little problem. So how do you
Mm.
feel about a ability like master tactician that gives you higher master conductor and playmaker, all in one ability?
Yeah, see, but I feel like with QB abilities, you can't really go right
Hmm.
necessarily. I feel like if you add something like that, there's only ways that you can go wrong because with the way quick snapping was going, I feel like now that they fixed that, I feel like having conductor on somebody
Yep.
while also being able to quick snap would have been impossible. That would have been like damn near ban worthy. Like you can't run that
Hmm.
shit. Because remember last year when they had to ban John Elway
Hmm.
because he
Yeah.
was too OP. But
Too
like
OP.
if you're running quick snap every single play, but you can also put them on a post, put them on a
Hmm.
streak, while that only using like one bucket of your abilities, that might be
Yeah,
crazy. I don't.
that might be a little crazy.
That might be crazy.
Um, Kind of getting to mine. The one I'm definitely excited about might be a little under the radar. A lot of people might not be talking about it. Lurk
Mm,
artists. Now I've heard
okay.
might not be true. Acro might be like an acro ability, could be an acro added into it as well. So that might
Mm,
change it a little bit. But for me, like it makes linebackers more usable for sure. Pick artist and lurker and one ability. Typically with linebackers you can only do pick artist and lurker, but now you can put lurk artists on them. You can put a Forces Supreme on them. That makes them very, very, very usable in this game. Kind of brings linebackers back for sure. Takes them back to the old Maddens. Kind of the one I'm definitely like not really excited to play Definitely Master Tactician or
yeah.
Master Conductor Playmaker. That's so good. Now, granted, they did kind of patch,
Quick
quick snapping as
snapping.
was it
Yeah.
was because it was so OP for a while, especially out a bunch. It still could be very problemsome, especially the fact that they only added seems to me one defensive back ability, which is defense on KO. Hopefully, they add more while they
Why don't we get
after
like why don't we get flat knockout? Just straight
Yeah,
up
that's what
flat
I'm saying.
knockout.
That's what I'm saying. Flat knockout definitely need to add some more abilities because you know master touches can become a problem really quickly,
Oh
especially
yeah.
like in Rex. But yeah, that's kind of all we had to really talk about. We do have a special guest still waiting for us. We're gonna add him in here right now. Okay,
Oh, there he
he is
is.
connecting. He is connecting.
Oh, I had to
Is
sit up
is
in my
he
chair
in?
a little bit. Ooh.
Is he in? I know that kind of like made me. You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying?
Oh, there he
He
is.
Taylor Sapia, man. How you doing, Taylor?
Oh
Can you hear
no, he
us?
might not hear us. He's got to connect his audio. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got to connect his
can
audio.
you hear us?
Yeah.
There he
Oh
is.
man, Taylor Sapia, man, how you doing?
Oh, look at the
Good. How are
camera
you?
quality difference.
Man, I'm pretty
Look
good.
at
Thank you
that.
for asking.
You guys are
Yeah, it
on my
definitely looks
like
crazy.
computer, so I'm be looking over here, but I'm looking at you. I'm
Okay,
not.
for
I'm
There
sure.
not.
he is.
Yeah, man, YouTuber, 2K and Madden do both. Hopefully we can bring you back for 2K. Don't really know how that goes. We have to see. You're a busy man. But right now we're gonna talk to you about Madden
Yeah.
specifically. Your
All right.
thoughts
Sounds
as a
good.
content creator on the launch of Madden. How did you feel about it specifically?
The launch.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty good. I think that I was nervous about like the crossplay because like
Hmm.
obviously it's like a big you got to connect to two servers probably and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think that was like a lot better than expected. I think everyone expected that to be like rougher, but
Yeah.
I think as far as the launch, like I've only played Madden for a few years, but I think it's probably the best launch that I've played. Like I remember a few years ago, like we couldn't even play franchise for like 2 months or
Yeah.
Yeah.
something. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it was a pretty like probably the best launch that I've been a part of. Not that I've been playing the game forever, but I think it was good.
Right.
Yeah. It was really well. It
So,
was really well.
oh shit.
You
See,
know?
you're like me with Madden, right? We've maybe only been playing Madden for a few years, right? But
Yeah.
how long have you been playing Mutt, do you think? Like, is this your first year of kind of stepping up and trying to enter that competitive, with you
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is my first year. I did it last year, like, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So this is the first year that I like actually understand it
Yeah.
and like doing it myself. Like I just borrowed other people's teams last year. I didn't try to do it myself. Even then I didn't understand it. But yeah, definitely this is the first year I'm like actually doing it myself and like I understand everything. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully we can see a run from you, man. Hopefully we can see a run from you.
Hey,
Yeah,
We're kind of gonna
MCS
get into
soon,
the
man.
we're kind of gonna get into
MCS
the
soon, man.
gameplay aspect of it. We all know, they advertise gameplay a lot in their trailers. Increasing defense, increasing the blocking. How do you feel about
yeah.
the gameplay so far? Is it good? Is it better? Is it an improvement? Is it bad?
Yeah, no, I think that it's similar to what I said earlier. I think it's probably the best at launch that I've seen. I mean, besides like there's like the loop blitz and like there's like little
Yeah.
glitchy blitzes, but like I feel like last year it was kind of like not that it was unplayable, but it was like
Yeah.
it was kind of like you couldn't really play without having like your own rules in as
Okay.
far as like a content perspective.
Hmm.
But I do think that yeah, I don't think there's like too many glitchy things besides like the blitzes, but even like if you really know what you're doing, I think you could kind of block them up.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think that there's any like there's no like crazy high balls. I think that there's more RNG though, which I would say, which is like it's kind of 50-50 on if you catch some balls,
Yeah.
if you don't catch some balls,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
But I think that it's definitely like the least glitchy I would say that I've experienced at least at the
Mhm.
start.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more variety, I think, too. I don't think that like everyone's running the same thing, at least from my
Mhm.
perspective.
I
So
All right.
definitely been
Speaking
playing
of
Madden.
variety, oh shit. Speaking of
Mhm.
variety, you started your YouTube channel this year off with a Seahawks franchise, right? So
yes.
with how that went this year, how do you think that we were talking earlier about how the lower teams won't be able to compete with the Bills, which is every year, but how do you feel like the lower teams like the Seahawks were able to compete with the better teams off this year?
That's a good question. Um, I would say I would say as far I would say this about that. So I think that in the past, like if you had an X factor quarterback, or like if you have like a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, I
Mhm.
think it was like you had a super high advantage over someone who had like a Geno Smith like me. So like I think
Mhm.
that this year the gap between that, like I think obviously having a great quarterback is better than not having one, but I don't think the gap is as big. I think it's definitely closer in that like I don't think that if you have gunslinger and stuff like that, it's like a huge advantage. It's just like
Mhm.
a minimal advantage, you know? So I think that's better in that aspect. I do think the only thing, I mean, I have like DK Metcalf and I have like
Right.
JSN superstar, but I think that the only thing is that if you don't have like a receiver with abilities, it
Yeah.
is tough to beat man coverage versus like the top teams. So that is the only thing I would say. Not that that's a bad thing. Like I think that should be a thing. Like if your guys aren't as good as the other guys, they shouldn't beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but I do think that's the only thing I would say is and I do. Oh, actually, I did think that so like I was using not so much Geno, but in my newer Rams franchise, using
Mhm.
Stenson Bennett, like the really lower tier quarterbacks, like you could tell they're
Yeah.
lower tier. Like last Madden, if you
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a
Bad.
60 overall quarterback, it would play
Be
the
decent.
same as like an 80 overall with no abilities. Like this year,
Hmm.
it's you could tell difference, which is a good thing again, I think, because I don't think that 60 overall should be making every single throw either. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, I've been playing Madden a little bit longer than both of you, but like I could definitely say that this is probably the most smoothest launch that I've experienced for sure. I
Yeah.
think the gameplay definitely has improved from last year. Last year was kind of unplayable towards the end of the year. It definitely got stale really quickly. Hopefully this year it can be
Mhm.
a little bit better. Yeah, for me, like we were talking about with the beating, a man with no wide receiver abilities. I'm dealing with that right now with the Patriots. In the same Rams
Mhm.
franchise, it's
Right,
definitely
right, right.
tough. It's definitely tough to beat it. Now I've had a decent amount of success beating it, but it's definitely tougher with not having any receiver abilities, which I think that's how it should be as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that lower wide receivers should be able to beat it. Kind of moving on, you know, franchise updates. We got the new franchise updates with the ability to customize your franchise as an owner. You got the draft classes. The being able to move to more cities. How do you feel about it as a
Mhm.
content creator? How is it helping content creators create more content for franchise and further push franchise?
Yeah, sure. So I think that the main thing this year, at least that I was excited about, was like the more expansion teams
Hmm.
because like I remember like pretty much ever since I started playing, man, they've all been exactly the same every single year, and I was like, yo, like, can we get some new some variety. And there's definitely more variety this year, I believe, right? So like
Yep.
you can do different teams that you haven't seen before, different jerseys. So it gives you a lot more ideas to do in franchise rather than the same teams that everyone's seen before. And like the talent trees as well. Like we were talking about, I remember in the league we
Yeah,
were talking about that. Like you get the +3 speed, which is like
yeah,
insane. Like
we was talking about that.
um
Yeah,
so that makes
Do
it
you,
like
oh,
a little more interesting. So like to say the
yeah,
least for your players in your team. So I think those are the two main things that I could think of as far as franchise.
do you believe that that's like a negative, like the skill trees, the speeds?
Mm.
Because I know I've actually kind of figured it out. I don't know if this is like a me thing, but I get like plus speed on, I get it plus excel on my wide receivers. I get plus throw power on my QBs. Like everybody's is not everybody's, but they're kind of different. Do you think
mm,
these like
Yeah.
physical upgrades and skill trees are they a positive or more of a negative?
Honestly, I think they're more of a negative, like for me personally, but I think if there I don't know if this is a thing, but if there was an option to like turn them off like in your
yeah,
league, I think that would be like
Hmm.
a good idea.
yeah,
So like if people want them, they could have them, but if they don't, they don't. Because especially from like a fantasy draft perspective, like it doesn't make your picks as valuable because you can just give them +3 speed. You know what I'm saying? So like someone like Tariq Woolen, who's 99 speed off rip or 98 speed off rip, like you can get a 95 speed corner and make him into Tariq Woolen because you can get the
mm,
talent tree thing. So it's same thing with receivers, linebackers, and all that stuff. So I think
yeah,
it takes a little bit away from the skill of like building your team and even fantasy drafts. So that's the only
yeah.
thing I'd say is like if there was like a toggle switch you could just turn on and off, that would help a lot.
Right.
Definitely would. So up the rumor tree, not confirmed yet. Crossplay franchise is coming, hopefully this
Yeah.
year. We all met in the same franchise, the Xbox franchise. How do you feel like crossplay franchises, helps as a content creator, being
Mm.
able to get more people in one league? Do you think it can cause trouble, with having that bunch of people trying to get in one league? Do you think it's a positive? Do you
Mm.
think it could be a negative?
I think it's a positive. I think it just opens more windows for like content. Like for example, I already thought of this for my 2K franchise, but like because that's already crossplay. 2K franchise is already crossplay.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing a league like you have half the league in one conference Xbox, half the league in the other conference PlayStation, then you like play, and then like the PlayStation leader and the freaking Xbox
Yeah.
leader just like battle it out. I think that'd be
That'd be
kind of
cool.
dope. So
That'd be
that's
cool.
like an
That'd be
idea.
cool.
That's an idea that I had. So like if you did that in Madden too, bro, like that'd be sick because like the whole league would be behind their system. So
Yeah.
I think that that's a super cool idea, and I think that it's been like a long time coming for crossplay. So I'm really excited about that. I think that's gonna be dope. If it comes to franchise, hopefully it does.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Console wars would be sick. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be kind of
Yeah,
sick.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, you definitely did. We talked about earlier where, you kind of started getting more into mud this year. How do you feel
Mm,
like mud is this year compared to what's last year? Start of the year, this is known as the golden age of the year.
yeah.
DBs aren't OP, defense isn't OP, offense isn't more so OP. How do you feel about mud right now?
I like him a lot. I was talking to TD and Ern the other day, and I was saying how I think that it's more it plays better than franchise. Like I think that the gameplay is smoother, and a lot of it has to be like has to do with like everyone's team being the same, overall pretty much, especially like in the competitive things. Your teams pretty much are even. So I think that
Yeah.
has a lot to do with it as well. But I think that the game just plays better in MUT. I like how it's smoother, I feel like, and there's more I think it's more like skill involved, I would say. So I would say I like Mutt. I like the way Mutt plays better than franchise, which is like a big thing for me because I've been playing franchise forever. So just from playing like the last tournament and everything, I really liked how that played. And I think it made me a lot better too. So yeah, that'd probably be my thoughts on that.
Right. With Mutt, you said you're becoming more of a Mutt guy recently. How do
Yeah.
you are you more of an all pro or an all Madden kind of guy? Like you go into all pro seasons when you play casually, or do you play all pro more casually?
No, I don't like all pro at all. Personally, I played it like a little bit. But I think it's like that's like the all Madden itself right now is a little 50-50, but all pro is kind of like, especially on like picks or receptions, I think it's like super like just up in the air. It doesn't really matter how good your guy is or whatever. Like you're either gonna catch the pick or the guy's gonna catch you, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So that's the one thing I would say is I don't like all pro at all. But I do like the All Madden, so I don't play All Pro at all anymore. I played like one season of it or whatever, just to get them up points or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
but that's it. I don't play All Pro at all.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, like, speaking of all Madden, this year, the MCS tournament changed to all Madden. We all saw,
Mm,
we talked about it a little bit in the chat. Henry wins in pretty dominating fashion over Dez. How did you feel
yeah.
about the MCS tournament as a field, the ultimate kickoff, like the atmosphere? How did it feel to you? Did it feel better? Them being back. Of course, like
Yeah.
they're back for the Madden Bowl, but like this is like the first time, of the year
Like in
being back.
person.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
did you feel about that?
Wait, so wait, was that on All Pro before? Prior years? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it was on All
Yeah.
Pro before. Yeah,
Oh
they just
wow, I
changed
didn't
it all,
know
man.
that.
Mhm.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a great change because I think that especially at the highest level, like the game should be played at the highest difficulty. Like that just
Yeah.
makes sense to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, as far as the whole layout, I think that it was super dope. I was like following it the whole way.
Mhm.
I liked watching like the streams as well. Like I watched like K Mac and W and all them on Twitch while it was happening, and I think it was super dope. And the live event was super cool as well. I like how you can see because I think this is the first time I had it in person since like COVID happened. So
Yeah.
I liked how you could like see the battles and the trash talk. I think it was super cool. I think it was super well done. Um, yeah, and I think all around it was a super cool event. I think they should keep doing it.
Yeah. See, okay. Do you want to maybe talk about your performance when it came to your qualifying for the
Sure.
for the bracket this year?
Yeah, sure. Sure, yeah. So going into it, I wasn't expecting to qualify at all. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just gonna do this for the content pretty much. And then I think after the first day, I was like 4-4 or something, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna qualify, but I'll just play Sunday like just to stream and stuff. And then um even I think I even lost my first game Sunday or something. So I was like under 500, and I think that I was 5-6 or 6-6, and then I ended up like winning a bunch of games, and then like after every game, I would go and check my rank, and I was like, I think I checked it once, and I was at like 700 or something, and the top 544 I believe qualified. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, like maybe if I like win like two or three more, like I'll be close. So I won another one, and then I was like at 650, and then I won another one, and I was at like 590 something. So I was like, yo, if I win one more, like and it was like eight, it was like 7 o'clock, I think, and it ended at 8. So I was like, yo, if I win one or two more, like I actually might get in, which I was like surprised. So I just kept grinding, and I think I won like 7 on my last 8 or something to qualify.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
just the fact that I did that, I was pretty like happy with that because I wasn't expecting to qualify at all, personally. But my actual qualifying match, like well, not the qualifying match, but the tournament single elimination tournament. I played like a
Mhm.
number 70 something dude. So I was like a huge underdog,
Mhm.
but I lost in the last second field goal, so I wasn't mad about that performance at
Yeah.
all. Like I was like, I didn't get blown out. I feel like I had a chance to win as well. I got to stop. I just
Mhm.
couldn't move the ball. So that's something I'm trying to
Yeah.
improve on for this time around. But yeah, I was really happy with my performance. I'm hoping to do better, this weekend and next weekend, and see if I can place a little higher so I can maybe get a little better matchup in the first round, and maybe just get to the second round, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Not like expecting to win the whole thing, but just taking it step by step. So yeah, that's kind of my experience
Are
for
you
the
hoping
first.
to maybe go to the in-person event? Is that kind of the goal? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like in the back of my mind, but I'm gonna be like realistic about my like. I think I'm okay at the game. I don't think I'm like a top player in the world, but when I'm going
Right.
into every game, I'm gonna try to win. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like gonna be like, oh, I'm not trying. Like I'm definitely trying to.
Of
That's the
course.
goal, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like beat myself up if I lose again in the first round or something. Like I think my goal this time again is just gonna try to beat a qualifying and just go from there. So that's probably my goal.
Yeah, and good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we were just talking about, of course, the MCS, the state of competitive Madden right now. We were talking about it a little bit earlier. The commentating, we talked about a lot in the chat. You got
Yeah.
user who's talked about a lot. We all know how we feel about him. Talks a little bit more about Henry than everybody else. I don't really want to call it me riding, but I'm gonna call a spade a spade. How do you feel about that aspect? Do you feel like the commentary needs to get better? Especially with them adding on like Ryan Hollins, who's never even played Madden, who's an NBA guy.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
feel like where do you feel like the commentating is at? Do you feel like it brings down the quality of the MCS tournament?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't want to like I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, that's easy to do because I feel like
Mm,
that would be like unrealistic. Like it's probably a super hard job. So I don't know personally how hard it is,
Mm.
but yeah, I do agree that like maybe if they got a ex NFL player instead of an ex basketball NBA player to join the panel, that would make more sense. Or like maybe an ex pro. I don't know if there was like someone that was a pro in the past to bring on the panel, but yeah, I mean it does get a little off topic at times, and I think that they maybe bicker a little too much, but like I said before, I think it was a great experience as a whole. Like it's not going to make me not want to watch again.
Mm.
Like it's not to that point, but I don't think but yeah, I mean, I think if they just got a little more diverse in like how do I say it, more diverse in like their personnel. So like if they had like I said, an ex LFL player and then like an ex maybe pro player. Like if like Skimbo didn't qualify this time. So like say if Skimbo doesn't qualify, he's one of the top players ever. So maybe he could be on the panel and give us like an insight maybe to what people are thinking. I think that would be like a cool idea.
Yeah, I feel like that would be way better than having people who don't know what's going on actually commentating on it.
Yeah, we were talking about like ideas of how to make the crowd better because it feels like when they win it, like the crowd, like of course it's a small crowd, but like it's kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
lackluster. We was talking about maybe bringing in, stadiums type of thing like that, having them
Yeah.
play in arenas, like that would increase. How do you feel like they can increase the crowd, to give it a little bit better hype? Because like when you win a belt, it's supposed to be like this big thing. They compare it to actual sports, and crowd is a big thing in the
Right.
sports. How do you feel like they can, increase that? Bring in like better hype, for winning a
Yeah,
belt
yeah, yeah, yeah.
specifically.
For sure, for sure.
Besides just the
Yeah, for
money.
sure. I think that that's definitely a good point. I never really thought about that, but I do think that that would be way cooler because like you could if something cool happens, you could hear the crowd cheer. If something bad happens, you could hear them boo. But
Mhm.
like there is
Mhm.
like a crowd, but it's like 10 people, so it's not really a
Yeah.
crowd. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that if they put it out there, I don't know how many people would go, like because it's in obviously an area that
Yeah.
like in L. I don't even know where it is.
It was
It's in
in
California.
California. Yeah.
It's in
Yeah,
California.
so yeah, people would probably go actually if it's in California, but maybe if they did like I remember during the NBA bubble, they had like the Zoom thing, so like there was stands, but it was like everyone's
Oh my
face
god. Yeah.
there. If they did something like that, I feel like
Yeah.
that'd be kind of cool. But also, there's
It'd
probably
be an
like
improvement.
but there's probably like kids that will go on there and like do inappropriate stuff, so maybe not. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
Hey, that might be
Um,
better.
yeah, so maybe it could be
Stop
it could be
it.
something like that. It could be something like that, but maybe if they just but yeah, I do agree if there was a little bit more of a crowd, that would definitely make it more hype because I do feel like it was a little bit like almost awkward at times, just like
Yeah.
when Henry won. Because like there was just
Yeah.
like no crowd and there was just like confetti. So yeah, I
Yeah.
do definitely see your point there. I think a crowd would make it super dope for sure.
It would make us super dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was talking about Skimbo being one of the goats. For you, my three goats are Henry, Skimbo, and Problem. Who are your three goats? Is Henry your goat? How do you feel about that? Like who's your goat for you
Mm,
for the
my
MCS?
goat. I would say well, first of all, I've only been following competitive Madden for like a little bit of last year and like this year, so I don't
Mhm.
know the history that much, but I do know Problem was like considered the GOAT because I kept talking about him on the thing. And
Yeah.
Henry obviously I think has the most earnings and the most belts, right? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
he has the most belts. Yeah, he has the most belts right now.
Yeah, so I would you gotta say Henry, I feel like right now, especially because he just won again. But yeah,
Mhm.
I would probably say Henry, Problem, and then I don't even know the stats. This is literally just off the top of the head, but I would maybe
Mhm.
say like someone like Skimbo or something.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
Because
that's
I
I
think
think that's most people's consensus. I'm not gonna lie to
yeah,
you.
so those would be my top three, but I don't know like the stats off the top of my head, so don't take too much weight into that. But yeah, those would probably
No,
be
I
my
don't
top
know
three
him either.
off the
I
dome.
don't know him either.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So earlier you just talked about competing in the MCS tournament this weekend. What are your
Yeah.
early predictions? How do you feel like you'll do? That type of thing.
Um,
Call, call your
yeah, I don't
shot.
know. I'd probably say my predictions. I think that I'm just going and looking to qualify at the start. You know what I'm saying? Because like I
Mm.
think that I was also talking to TD about this before. Like when you lose a game in ladders, it's like damn. You know what I mean? Like you get super frustrated, and then you're like, I got to make up for it.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that if you just go in with the mindset, okay, like I'm gonna qualify. Like I'm not gonna shoot for top 32. I'm not trying to get the buy like in my head. I'm just taking it game by game, which I think is the approach you got to have because especially especially if you're playing a guy and you're like, oh, his team isn't that good, like I should win this game, then
Mm,
you're already on to the
yeah.
next game. I think that it's more you gotta take it just play by play, snap by snap, just game by game, and just do the best that you can, and not have don't look too far ahead. I think that's my main focus.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. We talked about this a little bit in the chat, and I kind of want to end off a little bit with this. The
Sure.
update coming, the new abilities, you know. Do you know
Oh
them
yeah, yeah,
specifically? I
yeah.
can read them off for you. I can read them off for you.
Yeah, no, I saw the thing that you sent in. Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that like confirmed?
Yeah, most of them are confirmed. Some of them like the descriptions, like prime example, like Lynch Pink. We don't know for exactly that's going to be for passing and running. We don't know. I heard a little bit about Lurk Artist maybe being a little bit of acrobat in there. We don't know that for
Yep.
sure yet. But like, how do you feel like do you feel like they improved the game? How do you feel like they're going to do with
Mm.
with the higher masters of the world, the conductors, the playmakers that are being combined into one ability? What do you do with them specifically?
Well, yeah. I mean, if that happens, it's gonna feel like a brand new game. I feel like when you sent
Yeah.
that in, I was like, it's gonna literally change everything. Like the meta is
Mhm.
gonna be different. I think that because like abilities are everything, man. Like even like attributes are important, but abilities are more important in my opinion. So I think that like combining those into like juggernaut abilities are just gonna be like insane. Like I don't even know.
Yeah.
I truly think that it's gonna change the whole game. It's gonna feel like a whole new game, especially in MUT, because like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's gonna change everything. So I think it's cool. I think it's like it's a huge change. It's probably the biggest change they'd ever have, like as far as an update,
Yeah.
like mid game. But I think it's a pretty cool idea. I think it could get pretty crazy, and I think that's what they want. So I think that it's gonna be pretty cool.
I agree. Like, unless like the crossplay franchise happens this year, I think it definitely would be the biggest update in a while,
Yeah,
honestly. Yeah,
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
for you, like I said, do you know the abilities off the top of your head? I can read them for you because I wanted to ask like which ones are you more favorite towards? Which one are you kind of happy for? Which ones are you not so happy for? You kind of fearing? Do you know them off the top of your head? I
Yeah,
can read them
yeah,
for you.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
So you got third down threat, which is basically better third down catching and route running. Linchpin, which is basically better blocking from all offensive linemen. Right now, it's confirmed for passing. We don't know for running yet. Interior threat is essentially like an edge threat. We know you ran edge threat elite a lot last year. 80%
Yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah.
edge threat for interior linemen. Lurk artist is essentially pick artist and lurker in one ability. You got backyard QB, running back, tight end, and wide receiver. More hot routes, and faster playmaker in one. Omniscient is basically identifier and blitz radar in one ability. Short,
Yep.
deep, mid, elite combined, basically short in and out elite, mid in and out elite, and deep in and out elite into one ability. So for short, deep, mid, elite. Master tactician is essentially higher master conductor and playmaker. Deep zone KO is deep out and deep in knockout combined, and enforcer is tackle supreme and enforcer combined.
Man, I think the ones that stand out to me off the top of my head is probably the interior edge threat. What was that one called?
That could be a problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I would say one of those. The main thing because of that is like I think that they buffed D tackles this year. Like I think they're
yeah.
better than last year
Yeah.
because last year like they were good in
Consistent.
the run. Yeah, last year they were good in the run, but this year they're they get sacks as well too.
They
So
get
I think
after it.
that one could be pretty crazy. I think that the one where the QB one with the hot rod master, what was it?
The
Conductor
one
and
it was conductor. That one is specifically master tactician.
okay, and you got playmaker in that too, right? Like a QB
Yeah.
Yeah,
playmaker.
Hara Master
yeah.
Conductor Playmaker.
Yeah, so that could be kind of crazy too because I remember when Playmaker was like super meta, like when I first started
Super
playing
open.
Madden, like
Mm-hmm.
you could put like drags on and you could just Playmaker them up real quick. So
Yep.
like I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that like that could be a crazy one. Like that's a must have on your QB, I think, in my
Yeah. Of
opinion.
course. Yeah.
And then I think lurk artists as well would be pretty cool, like to put on your user.
Mm.
Because this year especially, I've been like dropping like wide open picks just because I mistimed them.
Yeah.
And when you have pick artists on your user, you don't really drop them. So I think lurk artist is gonna be dope because then you're gonna get better animations as well. So those are probably my top three. I think that the one with like all the deep in, out, and mid elite things is pretty cool. But I also think that matchup nightmare kind of does that already because I think
Yeah.
that kind of
Hmm.
lights up on every catch anyways. So I think that unless it's like super OP where you could like moss people and stuff, I don't really know how that's
Mm.
gonna work, but I think that one's kind of like a tweener, but And
Yeah,
yeah, I think all of them are good though. Like I'm not gonna be like I'm
yeah,
not gonna use any of them, but I think they're all pretty crazy. Yeah.
yeah. We was talking about it earlier, and if you notice it, like they added a bunch of offensive abilities, and they added only one defensive back ability, which is
Oh,
deep zone
okay.
KO. Do you feel like that could be a problem? Like they need to add more defensive back
Yeah.
abilities to counteract them?
Um, yeah, I could see that being a problem just because I know a lot of the top players were already saying that defense is super hard.
Mm.
So I could possibly see that being a problem, but I don't think that I don't think that any of the even though they're really good abilities, I don't think any of them are like glitchy. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah,
don't think that
yeah,
they're gonna make something unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? So I think
yeah,
that although they're really good, I don't think it's gonna make anything super unstoppable. But I mean, I could be wrong, but we'll see. So
yeah.
that's probably where I stand on that.
Yep.
We was talking about lurk artist and enforcer. Low key linebackers could be back. Linebackers
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
back.
yeah, 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 for sure, for sure, for sure.
Like lurk artist and enforcer combined. Like we all know, like last year you could only put pick artist and lurker in one ability, two ability slots, and you only had one more. Well, no, you only had two
Right,
ability slots last year. My
right.
bad. Now with three abilities, and now you can basically combine four abilities in two
Yep,
slots. Linebackers could be the move again.
Right.
for sure, for
They haven't
sure.
been
I
in a
agree. I
minute.
agree. Yeah,
How
yeah,
do you
yeah.
Yeah.
feel about the AP? How do you think they should have handled AP? Because when you have a situation like this where you have three abilities wrapped up into one, that means they all fit in one bucket,
Right,
right?
right, 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 right.
So do you think they should total the AP for all of them together? So maybe you spend nobody's gonna do it, but do you want to put six AP on a linebacker, right? Or do you think they should be cheaper?
Right, right. Is it confirmed how much they are? They don't know yet.
No clue.
No, no
Oh,
clue.
no
Not
clue.
been confirmed.
Okay.
No clue.
Um, I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe it should be, but I don't think it will because there's no way they're just gonna make one ability like
Like five
like six
AP.
AP. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think they'll do that. So
Yeah,
I don't think they will. Which is why I think it's gonna change the whole meta of the game because I think that
they will.
you're gonna be able to put it on people. So like I think it's gonna be like the same as pick artists. I feel like it's gonna be two AP or something. Like the cards that come out later.
Mm.
Um I think it's gonna be pretty crazy. I think it's gonna be pretty crazy. I don't think it's gonna take up that much AP. I don't know if it should. I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
we'll
about it.
see.
I
We'll
don't know if
see.
it should, but I don't think it will.
Before we end
We'll
the
see.
show, I want to give, we all just got the text message from TD. Heidi
Oh
passed
shit.
away. He's going
Yes.
through a lot right
Oh,
now. My heart's
Mm,
out for him. Prayers.
yes, for sure. Shout out
We all can
shout out to
kind of just
TD.
talk. I was going to end it on, the AP and the abilities. Well, can we kind of all just take a second and talk about how much TD has meant to us, how much he's done for us, that
Mm,
type of thing? Oliver, you
yeah,
can
yeah,
go
yeah,
first.
for sure. Yeah, man. I mean, as far as me, like you guys know, like he means everything to me in my career. Like,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for him, like people say this all the time, like, oh, you'd be nothing without TD, blah blah. And like, yeah, they're right. Like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
like I tell him this all the time, but like, yeah, I owe all my success to him, and like he's helped me a ton. A lot of people are selfish,
Mm,
um, in the YouTube community, and he's everything but
mm,
selfish. So, like, even the fact that he used to just he shouts me out pretty much every single video. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If I ever need, he treats me as like if it's our league. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
like it's not, it's his league. So if I
yeah.
ever need something, he's always like helping me out. If there's any questions, he's helping me out. Even if I don't ask him anything, like he'll sometimes just go on my channel and like hit me up like, yo, you should do this. Yo, you should do this. You should do
Yeah.
this. And I know he does that for a ton of people, not just me. So
Yeah.
um yeah, so I mean, yeah, so I don't even know, like I don't have words to explain like how much he means to me and how much he's done for me through
Yeah.
my career, and he's also like one of my best friends now. So yeah, shout out to T, condolences to him and his family for
Yeah.
his dog passing, but yeah, man, like he means everything to me in my career. So yeah, shout out to him, man, for sure.
I'll go next, so I can go.
I can go. I want to say a few things because I feel like everybody in the chat. I feel like I don't know if anybody feels like this, but me and TD have had our words, right? Like I've said some shit to TD. TD said some shit to me. I feel like that, but it's he doesn't feel the same way, I'm sure. But whenever I go in the chat and I see TD's talking shit, it's kind of it's nice, you know, like not everybody I feel like I can talk to like that. And it's nice
Mm.
that this guy that I've only known for like a few months, like I feel comfortable enough saying this stuff where I don't feel like I'm judged, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's a great guy. Even about this podcast, he's given us plenty of advice. Even on my career, like I don't even ask for it. Like, and I just mentioned my career, and me and TD happened to go to university, college for the same thing, and he gave me all
Yeah.
this advice, and I appreciated it a lot. Like he's helped me a lot in the not 4 months, 6 months that I've been here, right? Like,
Yep. For sure. Yeah, and like even before, like same thing as you guys. Like you said, he helped you out with your podcast, and you guys are just starting. So like same thing with me, man. Like I wasn't even, I knew him before I even had a YouTube channel, and like I sent him my first video to the group chat, and I was like, hey guys, you ever want to check this out, blah blah. And he was like, hey man, like on your thumbnail you should do this, on your title you should do this, and like that's what I mean when he's been there from like the start. Like he's been helping me out when I was like a nobody. So like it's cool that he's pretty like famous. You know what I mean? Like he's
yeah,
pretty
he's
famous.
pretty big.
It's pretty
He's
known.
got
guy.
1.5 million subscribers, and you know he doesn't have to talk to guys like us. So it's
doesn't.
pretty dope that he's super down to earth, and he talks to us like we're just regular people because we all are. You know what I'm saying? So
Like genuinely, like I always thought that when I came into the group chat, I was expecting it to be like TD says one thing every like month, right? He
yeah, for
just like
sure,
he
for
plays
sure.
his games, he moves on. But like I came in the group chat immediately, I was great. I was greeted with a hello. I was greeted with like a yo, what's up? Then I
Yeah.
was greeted with a meat writing comment, and then it went, and then it went on, right? But he's
Right.
very down to earth. He even says like he's not that famous. He doesn't think of himself as that famous. He might be talking shit. He might say so, but he's quite a humble guy, contrary to how he acts
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
100%, 100%.
I met TD summer of 2022. I remember I was running Discord leagues myself, and I met AJ, I met Varro, and they both got into TD's leagues. And I was like, oh yeah, I've been watching TDs for years, man, since I was in high school, like early on high school. I've been watching them. So like, to him to get in his leagues, I was like, oh shit, like I didn't even know he was running leagues. So that was cool. Like, so I was like, okay, like let me get in there. I met him, like one of the most humble guys, man. Like one of the nicest guys for sure. Like he's helped me out a bunch. You all know I used to commission for him. One of the nicest guys. Like even like for our first episode, he offered like to come on. Like if we had time, he would come on, talk to us. Kind of what we're doing with Tsap right now. But like he's one of the nicest guys, man. He doesn't like you say, he doesn't have to talk to us, man. Like he doesn't have to, be with us like how he is. Like he has 1.5 million subscribers, and we're like some of the only guys that get to see him the way we get to see him. They're very different
100%.
life than they get to see him. So like, yeah, man, he's done so much for all of us, man. Words can't describe how we feel for him, man. Like, I would do anything for him. I told him that, if he ever need anything, ever need me to create anything, like I did it for him,
Yep.
I took that job very seriously than more people give it credit for. Yeah, man, one of the nicest guys for sure. Like my heart goes out to his family. We all know Heidi. He
Yeah, for
sends
sure.
videos of Heidi all the time. One of the
I
nicest
love
guys,
Heidi,
man.
man. I never met Heidi. I loved Heidi so much. I love animals. I
Yeah, he
especially
sent
love
videos of her all
Heidi.
the time,
I
man. He
loved
sent videos
Heidi,
of her all
man.
the time. Yeah.
Yep.
That actually like makes me upset, like as somebody who really loves animals, and how you can have that connection with people. And I'm sure I don't need to tell him this. I'm sure he's feeling broken right now, and I could only
Oh yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
But
Yep.
the connection you have with animals, man, it's something
It's different.
else. I couldn't
Different
imagine how
for
I
sure.
felt if I lost Rufus. Like fuck me. Y'all wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Y'all wouldn't know,
Is
man.
Rufus there? Is Rufus there?
Oh yeah, no, he's there sitting in an empty
Can we
box
get
right
it?
now.
Can we get a guest appearance?
We can get a guest appearance from Rufus real quick. Hold on.
All
Yeah,
right, I just
man. But
want to
yeah,
see
like,
him. I
cause,
just want
cause
to see him. So.
I remember, like, I don't know if you remember, but he told us when Heidi was first going through her issues and stuff like that, and
We can get a quick little Rufus appearance, man.
There he is.
Yeah,
We can
but
get a
like, yeah,
quick little Rufus appearance.
he told us when everything was going on with her, and she was fighter, man. She fought through it all, man. And, that was very unexpected. Kind of got that during the podcast. I happened to check my phone, and I saw it, and I was, oh yeah, like definitely
Yeah.
have to give him a shout out, give him his flowers on the podcast for sure.
He deserves them
Yeah.
more than we could ever give him credit for, man.
For sure, man. 10 out of 10 guy for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, great episode. Thank you to Tsap for coming out. You didn't have to.
Of course.
You're doing your thing.
Of course.
You're a very busy man. Thank you to Oliver, for doing this with me. Definitely gonna be a good
Thank you,
podcast. I'm very
Darien,
excited
bro.
for it. Hey man, hey,
It's my
I'm
twin,
gonna give
man.
you flowers. I'm gonna give you
It's my
flowers,
twin,
man.
man.
Hey man, my twins in here. It's gonna be a good podcast though, man. I'm very excited about where this can go. Hopefully, we can get Tsap on for the 2K. He doing his
Yeah,
thing
for
over there.
sure. Whatever you guys need, for sure.
Hopefully, man. Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, bro. I'll talk
Everybody
to you guys
liking.
later.
Yeah.
Hey, see you, mate. See
You
you,
guys,
bye.
is this going on YouTube or is this going
Oh,
on what?
Oh yeah, I'm
yes.
getting it up on
Yeah.
YouTube. I'm getting
Oh,
this
for
up on
sure it's
YouTube.
Okay,
going up on
word.
YouTube. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So everyone sub and like the what's it called?
We haven't even said that
Uh,
yet, man.
Oh,
yes,
you
we
guys know the
did.
name?
Yes, we did. We definitely did call it a name.
No. We
That's
didn't
the
say
turf.
like yet. We didn't say like yet.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
We didn't say
Yeah.
that.
Definitely like the video, man. Like the freaking video. You
like,
heard what
comment, and
T-Zap
sub,
said.
baby.
Hey,
You
Yes,
heard
bro,
what
if
sir.
you're at
T-Zap
the
Yes,
said,
end
sir.
of the
Yes,
man?
sir.
video, you've already liked, you've already
Yeah,
subscribed.
come
You already
on
know
now. Like,
all that. Come
we
on,
did
man.
our thing, for the first podcast. Virtual
Mm.
Turf Talk, man, best esports podcast in the world. I'm saying it right now. Might get a little controversial, but hey, man, gotta call your shot. But yeah, thank you
Yeah,
to you guys, man. Thank you guys for this episode.
for sure, man. All right,
All
guys.
right,
Thank
man.
you guys for having me on. Talk to you guys later.
Yeah, man.
Hey, no problem. See you,
Yeah.
man.
All right. Peace.
I didn't give you guys the proper outro, I guess you could say. First off, I want to thank you to Taylor, Tsap, Scrapt's YouTube channel. I also want to send my condolences out to Brett. Love you, man. Prayers for you and Maddie. I know how much Heidi meant to you and how much she meant to all of us in the chat. So put my prayers up for you guys. But I want to tell you guys to drop, drop comments, letting us know what we can do better. Definitely, we're constantly trying to improve, constantly trying to get better. And honestly, all interaction helps. Love you guys.